Defense coordinator Jim Schwartz on where the Browns defense needs to improve.
We played really well in a lot of areas. Red zone wasn't one. And, you sort of dice that up a lot of different ways. And, red zone's one of those things that you don't get a ton of reps on. So, whatever, you flip a coin limited number of times, it can change. It's funny, I was watching a team this morning that was a top red zone defense. And I'm watching, and one game, the opponent finished by taking a knee in the red zone. That's a red zone win for the defense on the stats, There was another that they busted a coverage. A receiver was wide open, dropped the pass. Red zone win. Defense really didn't do anything to deserve that. There was another one where they kicked a field goal at the end of the game to win the game. Well, that's a red zone win for the defense on the stats. So you got to be careful a little bit about that. But that being said, we weren't good enough in the red zone. We had too many mistakes there. And, that's certainly an area that we can improve on. But, we're a defense. We tend to, you guys hear me, I don't talk a lot about our our defensive rankings or things like that, because we sort of judge ourselves against ourselves, right? And just because, whatever, we were number one in an area or number 5 in an area, it's all about us and our improvement as opposed to what the rest of the league is doing.
And Tim, when you think about it, there should be improvement because they're in their second year in Jim Schwartz's system. I know they play tougher teams, but second year in a system, guys should be a little bit more comfortable and a little bit better.
Yeah, and especially because by and large, they ran it back on defense. Obviously, Zadarius Smith coming back, Shelby Harris coming back. Obviously, you keep the secondary intact. Greg Newsome's still on board. Obviously, the biggest additions really are kind of smaller pieces and linebacker with Devin Bush and Jordan Hicks coming on board. So yeah, by and large, it's all coming together. It's all kind of back to where it was a year ago. And I think Jim Schwartz has a real good point about red zone issues. And obviously, in the NFL, teams are going to get yards. They're just going to, make 70, 80-yard drives. They're going to get in the red zone because that's just the nature of the game right now. The margin in talent between the best offense and the worst offense isn't as great as some people think it is. So, and even great defenses are going to give up yards. I mean, I equate it in basketball because you can have the greatest defense all in the game, and you're still going to give up points because the other guys on the other side are just that good. So football comes down, especially in the NFL, to third downs, fourth downs, and how often you keep teams from scoring touchdowns in the red zone. And the Browns weren't as good at the red zone touchdowns as they needed to be, going up against a stronger menu of quarterbacks on the schedule this season, particularly Patrick Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa, and Dak Prescott in particular, among the many others they're going to have to face. It's going to come down to red zone play, and if they can tighten up in the red zone more than they have, I think it's a chance for this defense to become even better, even if, because like I said, the quarterbacks are going up against are better this year. The offenses they'll face are much better. The rankings may not show, but if they are tougher in the red zone, this is still a formidable defense.